orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister who's calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strengthened. Orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister who's calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strengthened.
Welcome everyone! Guess what? We're starting early! I know it's only 5 minutes early, but well, we're all ready, so we figured why not start a little early, because why not? And so we started early, and that is why we're here. So, in the last episode, everyone had a daring escape. There was danger, there was romance, there was fanfic. Actually, none of that happened. They all got out because of a mysterious furbolg. And now they're on his ship.
We got bought by a nice guy and let them set free.
And now they're on a ship heading towards Fulma, to where they will be stopping for a day and then heading farther down south. But for now, they are on the ship and they have a new day ahead of them. The ocean washing softly around you. You wake up to the smell of salty air. The breeze is quite chilled on your face. There's the smell of bacon, toast, breakfast.
It's bacon!
As you all come to the cook would be more than happy to give you your breakfast, and the ship is yours to explore and act as you will. So,
I poked my head out of my bedroom window. What's the weather like?
the weather is quite cloudy. It had been very rocky the last night, in fact. And some of you who, if you'd Rizura, for example, you're covered in water. It'd been storming that last night. So you didn't sleep too well. Everyone who has not been on a ship before, I need you to make a con save.
Alright.
Wow, they're all that. I'm going to get breakfast with no problems.
Yes.
Yeah, same. I've been on the ship before.
Keep bragging, you pirate.
Alex? Ella?
Yeah.
You made it, you beat it. Alex and Ella, you are incredibly seasick.
Yeah.
The world feels like it's spinning and you're having trouble keeping your feet on the ground.
All anyone can hear when they like walk by Alex's room is just groaning.
You alright in there?
Oh god.
Alar's currently throwing up out the window.
River like stretches out her wings and then she like jolts because she hears like a lot of groaning and like sick noises.
A few of the sailors, as they pass by the group at the door, say, "Heh, looks like they haven't got their sea legs yet."
Nah. I could help them with barrack magic, but this is the only way they'll learn.
After about... Yeah,
I guess Brazura tossing them around yesterday did more harm than we thought.
Speaking of which, Brazura, have you rolled your thing yet?
I've been on a ship before.
Ah, okay.
How'd you think I got to Mahem?
So,
Fair.
Where is the nearest window?
after getting all your sickness out,
Right there.
those of you who are sick will be mostly ill until around midday, when your stomach seems to finally settle. For everyone else, let's go down the list. Alex,
Yep.
what do you do once you stop being sick?
Once I've stopped being sick, I'll try and find the, First
better,
up,
Alex, or am I gonna have to start standing 10 feet from you for a time for now?
You're so fucking funny. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still getting over it a little bit. Ugh, my head hurts.
Well, you're getting over it better than Markiplier did.
If it helps any, Wolf thinks Egon's got it just as bad.
Marky.
Fair enough. How about you guys? You all doing all right?
Never better.
I'm fine.
So, Alex, you've got the day ahead of you. What are you doing?
Well, first up, I call out to everyone currently in my party. He says, "All right, everybody, we got a morning meeting."
Screw the morning meal.
Fine. I'll talk to you later then.
Do I hear it?
Ooh, morning.
It's a small ship. You can hear it from below you. Yes. You're around here on the bottom of the ship. You're above the floorboards, but that's where you are in. See, and that's exactly where he is. So yes.
Ruru looks kind of nervous seeing everybody sick, and then she glances to Sren. You okay?
Yes, I've been on the boat before.
Okay, good for you. Unfortunately, not for half our crew.
Yes, I remember my first time.
Me too.
Okay, so let's see.
I
here.
don't.
What did you say? Sorry.
No, I just I just hear nothing.
So, assuming everyone eventually makes their way to the meet, unless you decide not to, is anyone not attending the meeting?
Nah.
Okay.
Please let me stick close to the window.
All right. You're over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's over there, big. Alex says it's over there, big man.
So, as a reminder, by this point your stomachs are starting to settle. Now, Alex.
Taking in a few deep breaths, to steady himself, Alex just says, "All right, so I don't have much else to discuss with any of you guys other than I just wanted to say to you all, I'm terribly, terribly sorry."
About.
Well, it was my plan that we all decided to, do what we did, and as a result, we all kind of got captured, and so,
I mean, we got game for.
Yeah, but still, if it wasn't for me, I mean, we probably would have been out of somewhere by now without any of this happening. Not to say that I'm not grateful for what Creed's done for us. It's just that,
Yeah,
Look, your actions have both consequences and benefits. And the benefit is we got a Goblin Girl out of this, too. So, look at the bright side of it rather than the negative.
Right, and she has information on our sister as well. So if we hadn't found her, we wouldn't have more information or gotten her out of there.
Maybe,
and I'm sure it was decided among us unanimously.
To be fair,
Unanimously?
maybe,
Gazura hears Shikon heaving and she yells, "Hey, do you need a hand?"
this is the first time on a ship, so nope.
What? What did you say?
It's the first time.
She got us too busy trying not to laugh.
Sren gently tugs at Rura's clothes.
Ruru Josephine looks to her, yes?
Could they maybe call me Sren? Maggie?
Right. Call her Sven now, please, not Goblin Girl. That's rude.
Alrighty.
Nice to
Oh,
meet
my
you.
apologies.
But yeah,
Thank you.
that's kind of all I wanted to say to you guys. I know we all decided on it unanimously, but it was still my idea, and I do think I have a certain amount of responsibility for that.
We'll all just have to be more careful in the future.
Yeah.
We kind of underestimated what we're going up against. Even Brazura.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna be hanging around the kitchen if any of you guys need to speak with me about anything. I've got a few things to take care of, so I'll be around.
As you glance towards the kitchen, you see that Clovis had been watching your conversation, and when he sees you're starting to disperse, he turns and heads toward the kitchen to speak to the cook.
Ruby looks a bit thoughtful, glancing downward, and then she perks up and looks to Sven. She goes, "Want to get some breakfast?"
Yes, please. If that's not a problem.
Of course
on
not.
On his way there, Alex sees Mittens and he says, "Morning, Mittens. How you doing?"
Good morning. I am very ill. I do not like the boat.
Yes, I would imagine so. Need something to eat, or are you not feeling particularly packaged today?
No food, please. I am ill.
Alrighty, well,
So-
you just take it easy. You just take it easy for now, alright, buddy?
As you approach the kitchen, you see that Clovis is discussing something very quietly with the cook. Now, Alex, I believe you have a 13 perception. That would probably be enough to get a few words. So as you approach, before he stops and he looks and gives you a nodding greeting, you hear a name. Cleaver.
Oh, Jesus.
Alex just pockets that information for later and just kind of acts like he hasn't heard anything.
Hello. I was just asking about the... He glances to the cook and then he looks back and he says, I was just informing my crew of a new development.
Oh yeah? Well, hopefully it isn't too much trouble.
He thinks for a moment and then he... I've just got some news.
News I'm aware that we could probably be told due to the, and then he gestures towards his neck and it's like,
He pauses for a moment and then he sighs and says, the storm last night.
Yeah?
Apparently Cleaver's ship crashed in it. He is rumored to be missing.
Wait.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, that seems a bit weird. I mean, I guess every ship is kind of folly to it, but it just seems like
It was very out of nowhere. There was no... The navigator didn't see a storm on the horizon, and then the next thing there was a massive storm over the sea.
We seem to be able to get through the storm just fine.
Yes, it was odd. I mean, we gave a prayer to Sashalas, of course. So perhaps we were saved by faith.
Well, you do have Well, you do have a cleric to him on board.
Regardless, if you could please move out of the way. And he's holding a plate of food. And with that, he heads back to his room. You are fine.
I'm going to see what Grisura thinks.
Now, again, no one was here except Alex and Dennis. Because you all moved over because you... So, it's up to Alex and Dennis if they wish to share it.
I'm just gonna head into the kitchen and, get some food and do what it is I said I was going to do.
I was walking over here to get food too.
You might have heard the tail end of it then.
I've already eaten, so nope.
Let's go get some food as well.
So you get your food. What now?
Rura hands Ren her plate. Here you go.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to the
She sits down to eat.
and tell the cleric about what happened.
Alright. So Vienna, you are now aware of the storm that apparently crashed Cleaver's ship. And that he's now missing.
What does anything to do with that?
Roll perception. You see her crack a slight grin.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
So I guess you did have something to do with it. Okay. And then he walks away.
So, Alex, you still have the day ahead of you. Is there anything you want to do today? Perhaps there's something you'd like to learn about the ship or talk to the crew.
There's a few things that I've got in mind, but during breakfast, I believe Alex would have finished up what it is he's doing, so he's quickly going to pop over to the other guy, oh goodness, I just need to reference his name for a minute here.
Corvus.
Corvus. Yeah, Corvus. And he knocks on Grisura's leg. And he says, "Hey, Corvus, you got a minute?"
Yes?
And he just hands him a piece of paper, and he just whispers, "Listen, when next you see her, could you give this to Maggie for me, please?"
Corvus takes a napkin and he wipes the flecks of breakfast out of his beard and also wipes his hands and then puts it to the side. And he takes the letter and puts it on top of the wrapped up package that contains the soon-to-be novel, if it passes and gets published. He looks back and gives a nod. I will see that she gets it when I next visit.
Oh.
Thanks for that.
Hold on. Wait. And wait. And when Grisura says that, where's Grisura?
I'm over here.
Okay, first of all, this is my room. Second of all...
Well, where's my room?
Wait, second of all... I don't know where your room is. Find an empty one. Second, and one that hasn't got any stuff in it.
I slept on the deck. I don't have a room.
Guys,
Oh,
we will
anyway,
get to the...
Second of all, now you are dry.
Let me think. Can you do the same to my clothes?
Literally just all water in a 5-foot.
So, we will get back to you, but first we're just going to finish Alex's day, okay? So, Alex...
But yeah, he hands off the letter and he says, "Thanks for that. It's just a little something for her to say thanks. That's all."
I will see that she gets it. So is there anything else you're doing today?
One final thing, as I can see, Dennis seems to be right next to me. So I'll turn around, tap him on the shoulder, there's hey Dennis, I've got something I want to bring up with you. Can we go to someplace private?
Sure. I was just wondering where one might find some magic ink to inscribe things with.
We're
Apparently
sailors,
mine's
not
from-
wizards. And Clovis just closes the door.
Well, anyway, let's see, let's head over to my room, yeah? Follow me.
Okay.
Right over here. So, I wanted to bring up something with you that I noticed when we were at Maggie's Inn. I didn't think of mentioning it at the time, but, you know, everything kind of got busy, so I just wanted to ask you from, like, one spellcaster to another here. What was that book you were trying to show off? That was no
Oh,
spellbook.
that one?
That was no spellbook I've ever seen before.
He reaches into his bag and pulls out the book in question. He says, "This is the book I'm not supposed to share with anyone." And he has a smile on his face. And you suddenly realize that this guy is unable to keep the secret.
Alex, he pauses for a minute, looks at the book, then backs to Dennis, and he says, "And you thought it was a good idea to go and flash this thing around in a public place?"
I was just pulling it out. My other book, there was other books in the way.
Okay, fair enough. But what exactly...
And besides, he reaches into his bag, he pulls out another book that looks pretty much the same. A roll perception to see if you can tell the difference.
Hang on, let me give, you want a perception?
Yeah.
Alright, perception.
They look identical.
So
this one's a decoy book, and this one's the actual book.
Looks pretty similar.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it looks exactly the same unless you actually know what to look for. He puts both of them into his book bag.
Alright.
Something
anyway.
about, stuff's not supposed to be shared and secrets and bad, kind of stuff where you have a book and you don't share it because someone bad gets a hold of it, then bad things happen.
So... Okay, never mind. Anyway. And this is supposedly something that no one else is supposed to have, and in the wrong hands, something bad's gonna happen. That's what basically you're saying, yeah?
Yep. That's why there's a decoy book. He pulls out the decoy book and opens it to show you. Make an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence?
Yes.
Alright. Intelligence saving throw.
Oh, Jesus.
The contents is too complicated for you to discern. Dennis Rilla says, "My master wrote this book with a spell called Right Nonsense. You have to pass an intelligence savings throw to notice that it's absolute nonsense." He closes the book and puts it away.
Well, okay, so here's what I'd suggest here, like as I would like to think one friend to another, one compadre amigo, best buddy in the whole wide world, maybe somewhere down the line, but one guy to another. And he pulls him in, puts an arm over his shoulder, and he says, "You'll want to keep the decoy book out, because if someone tries to go through your stuff and sees both of them, there's pretty much a likely chance they're going to take both."
He also says, "Okay, I guess that makes sense."
Keep the real one hidden, away from sight, away from thought and mind, and keep the other one out. Because, let's face it, that thing looks important. Any I don't know, half-bent crook on the street could pretty much just think, "Oh, I'll go and swipe that, I could probably sell it for a few gold coins."
Besides, I have an interesting plan with this decoy book. Have you heard of... just a moment.
Split difference.
Yes. He says, one of the other students of my master had this interesting idea to put spell slots and explosive runes into a book that they didn't want other people to read, or something like that.
So when someone
And he pulls out the he pulls out the decoy book and he's like, you know what? I should probably cast this on this right now. And he does the same with the other book.
So if someone tries to open it, it'll just explode.
I'm going to put specific conditions on it that if someone tries to open and read it while I am not within 1 mile of it, yeah, it'll explode. All of them.
Okay. Well, you keep that safe, all right, buddy? You keep me posted.
I will. He puts them both back into his pocket.
Anyway, you can leave now.
Mm-hmm.
And just to wrap it up, because I know this has gone on for quite a while. I don't know. I guess Alex will probably just wander around the ship and sees what everyone else is doing.
All right. As you do so, one of the sailors, you notice is looking through a telescope, and he notices you approach and he says, "Hey, you want to learn how to navigate by the sun and the stars?" So you spend the rest of the day learning how to navigate using the sun and the stars. You can add this to your character sheet, but I will fill it in later. But basically, you always know which direction is north, as long as you can see the sky. Now, next up, Allah, because I forgot you, and you're above Alex. So, what do you spend your day doing once you stop getting sick?
I'm fishing up on the back of the deck right now.
Alright, roll me a skill check that you, and tell me why you're rolling that skill. Convince, yeah, like dexterity or choose a skill and explain to me why you chose that skill as your skill check.
So would that be a saving throw or an actual skill check?
Like an intelligence or dexterity or whatever you want.
Okay. Rolling that to see if I can actually use the fishing rod properly.
You struggle until one of the guys at the helm motions another sailor over, and he comes and begins to teach you how to fish. You now have advantage on any roll you make with the fishing rod.
Nice.
Alrighty.
So
now do I...
roll a skill check of your choice and explain to me why you chose that skill. How are you fishing?
Alrighty. Going to use that one. And
okay.
It's just to maneuver the rod into water very efficiently and find good spots.
So, you bring the rod down. Thanks to the expert help of the man beside you, you hold it steady. You feel the slight tug as the water pulls against the string. Tug, tug. You feel a bigger tug, but not yet. Tug again. You see the head bop, but you wait. Then you see it bop again. A big tug, and you grab it, you wind it in, you throw it, and a massive fish flies out and slaps onto the deck. It's about 10 feet. It's about 10 feet wide. It's a massive swordfish.
You mean 10 right?
Oh, did I do it? Guys, I did it! Guys! Mittens! Come over! I'm dead! I did it!
No response. There you go, that's your fish. Oh.
So name him Arnold.
The sailor who helped you picks up the fish and he says, I'll go get this to the cook so we can get it cleaned and gutted, and we'll give you a bit to take on your journey.
Aw, sweet. Thank you. Thank you for the help.
And he begins to slowly drag the fish down to deck. And is there anything else you want to do on your day off?
No, just enjoying the day as it is.
I looked through a lot. Where did you get line strong enough to reel in a swordfish?
I actually enhanced it with ice. The amount it worked. Just a regular line.
Okay.
That doesn't work like that.
I try my best.
Next up, Dennis. So, as you're going around the ship, trying to find some ink, your vision suddenly becomes blurry. And with a soft, you vanish from existence.
Oh dear.
And appear on the table of the fox god Tanuki.
Oh, hi.
Hello there. How are you doing, my lovely little wizard friend?
I'm doing good.
Are you hungry? Thirsty?
I seem to be missing ink, though.
Oh, you need ink. Well, I'm happy to provide. And the table suddenly has this massive thing of ink that is as big as you are.
I'm not sure I'll be able to use all this.
Perhaps you would appreciate it if I just did it for you? I'm a very fast worker after all.
I guess that's okay.
And you look down to your spell book and the new book you bought that's waterproof and fireproof. And you realize that, and you open the fireproof book and all your spells are in there, including the scroll that you were going to inscribe.
Okay.
So how have you been?
Thank you then. Good. They won't let me practice putting magic items together on the ship for some reason.
That's a darn shame. I've always loved your magic items.
Thanks.
I do hope to see you make more.
I plan to make more.
I cannot wait. Perhaps if you hid in your room, you'd be able to create them in peace. And the fox gives a sly grin.
Okay. I guess I could try that.
A shutter goes down here in his spine for no apparent reason.
I'm sure it will be fine, don't you worry. And, you tell your little, your mentor that I said hello. I haven't seen him since we wrestled that one time. That was good fun. A battle of magic. Yes, Wiztig.
Okay.
It was a battle of mind and spells. Not the typical wrestling, of course. But here I am talking about things you probably don't care about. I should probably let you go.
Okay. Well, it's nice talking to you again.
Before you go, though, could you help me with one small thing? And the fox pulls out a mask and puts it on, and it's this scary-looking mask of some sort of skeleton, fox head. Does this look realistic enough? It looks bloody realistic.
It looks quite realistic.
Thank you very much. Well, you have a lovely day, and by the way, do you mind if I just pull a small prank on you for just as since I did do you that little favor?
I guess so.
And slowly your vision goes blurry as you hear a soft chuckle that echoes around you. And you reappear on the ship. Only now You are bright pink.
He's not aware of this yet. So he goes over to talk to Alex. He says, "So, how's your day been?"
Between like learning how to do it's like he is Dennis. He's like, hey, it's been good so far, and that and he just goes to take a bit of a sip of water and goes.
Is something wrong?
I think I'm the one who should be asking you that question. Did one of your little magical spells go awry?
He takes a look at his fur. He's like, "Oh, I had a quick visit to I forgot his name.
Tanuki.
To Tanuki, yes.
Wait, slow down. As in, Brewer's friend.
Yes.
God,
you don't know him,
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, apparently he's decided to fill out my spell books for me, and I pulled out my waterproof one that I'm sure Alex knows is empty, and I open it up and show him. Apparently he wanted to play a prank on me as a gift. I'm guessing this is the prank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you got back up the spellbook now, so I mean, hey, that's good, I guess. And you didn't have to take from the group funds. I'm sorry, I'm just. What the hell is your problem?
It's probably just having fun. I'm sure it'll wear off eventually.
Hopefully within the next day, because honestly, like with the red, robes and everything, you kind of blend into your own clothing.
This is true. I wonder what the others think.
Alex is just kind of like sitting there a little gobsmacked for a moment, and he says, "I need to take a break."
He goes over to talk to each of the team of party members.
She gone slowly feeling better. Turns around to see Dennis in pink fur. The first thing Dennis can see is that he was still looking a little bit ill. The other thing is he tried to stuff a laugh out of nowhere to see that.
So, how was your day today?
Could be better because I'm not really used to chips, but looks like one of your spells got wrong, huh?
Dennis's fur is now green.
What the?
What's wrong?
Your fur. You suddenly went from pink to green.
Oh, so he's decided to change my color. Oh, this will be fun! I wonder what the others will say.
Are you sure you're not... are you sure you didn't accidentally curse yourself by secretly practicing one of your magic items again?
I'm quite certain it wasn't me. Tanuki said something about a prank, and then he leaves.
As you emerge onto the deck, the three there see the very bright green, almost glaringly green, on this blue ocean, Dennis Merlin, suddenly become purple.
Arthur's eyes widen seeing this and says to Dennis, "What the hell happened to you?"
Alar's eyes widen match again. She's like, "Oh my god, it's purple! I love purple!" She like walks over here, almost aiming for a hug.
Okay, what magic item blew up in your face this time?
He is now yellow.
I had a short visit to Tanuki. Decided to play a prank on me, apparently, in exchange for filling out my spellbook. I take a beer and I think too crazy.
Roll insight.
Love it.
Grizer's just gawking like, what the hell?
He is now blue. But a darker blue.
Every color of the rainbow.
Yerna. Oh, actually, I suppose I roll. Vierna seems totally neutral towards it from what you can tell.
Laura
Okay.
completely like believes Dennis 100%. So can you like turn two colors at will now?
I think he's changing my colors. I don't think I can change my own colors.
He's now orange.
Tanuki, can you make them like all the colors at once?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Are you sure you want to go around giving a god ideas?
Gherkin's kind at least.
That's performance.
Oh, my bad.
We'll just.
I mean,
That's awful.
It's the same stats, isn't it? You just.
Yeah, it's the same stat.
So do you just use the 16 then?
If you want to, that's what I first rolled.
Redwood?
but there's also...
At this point, I just say go with whatever's funniest.
Okay. You hear a soft chuckle echo in the air, and suddenly Dennis is a rainbow of colours. Think Alolan Grimer.
Yeah. Woo, your god's awesome.
Let's see, who else should I go talk to? I don't think there's any
Okay,
other party members up here.
Then a drug trip.
Oh, that? What did you say?
I said first seasickness and then a drug trip.
Oh, God, did you... Okay, he's gone.
So...
What were you saying?
I was saying, have you talked to, Alex and Ruler yet?
No.
I bet it's story we have.
Actually, I did talk to... just a moment. I did talk to Alex. I was pink then. I'll go talk to the others, though, now.
Alright,
leave the
go,
deck.
you wandering mystery.
Shikon, you watch as a rainbow fox passes by you.
The only thing we can,
Your nausea is coming back.
I'm pretty sure it was one of his magic items.
So, as Dennis rounds
Enter this room.
everyone, you see this magically rainbow fox as the colours slowly wash down him, and then like a waterfall of colour that is not stopping.
Hello.
Rura blinks, like, and then she rubs her eyes, like she's seeing something or not, and they're just staring at her. Dennis in shock.
It used to be just one color, and then Alara was like, "Hey, could you make him all the colors at once?"
Kagura is just looks at Dennis. He just lets out a sigh of defeat and says, "Does the flash colors come with a seizure warning?"
I don't know if you can get seizure warnings.
I don't think you would. No.
Rura tilts her head, like, looking like she's thinking hard. She goes, "Oh, did Tanuki do this to you?"
Yes.
I thought so.
He did this in exchange for filling out my spell book. Apparently, it's going to fill out magically now.
Ruru smiles amused and she goes, he always does that. Every time you ask him for something, he asks for something back.
Just to clarify, he only filled it out this one time.
Okay.
Just to clarify that.
Okay. So I wasn't very full on the details. I'll probably still have to fill out the remainder myself. I wonder if the rest of the ship's crew have seen me. Hey, Mittens, how are you?
Mince is currently eating a fishtail. She looks up and then goes, "My God, it's beautiful." And then she goes back to eating the fishtail. Completely unamazed.
Kagura just sits there like, oh. And the reward for best reaction goes to...
He walks into the kitchen.
Oh God, my eyes! Ah! Get out of here, please! We're trying to cook. Ah! They shove you out of the kitchen.
You don't like the colors then?
They shove you out of the kitchen and they close the door.
Bad for the kitchen.
So
He goes down to... Who was it? I forgot his name.
Grovis.
Oh, yes.
Hello.
He says, hi. How
Hello.
are you?
I am well. Did you need something?
Just wanted to say hi. Did you even look at me?
I can see you very well, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's disappointing. I didn't get much of a reaction out of you.
I have seen things much more wondrous than a multicolored fox. And he closes the door.
What did he say?
He said, I have seen things more crazy than a multicolored fox. And then he closed the door. TLDR, try harder.
And then he walks into here. Hello.
Oh, what are you? Get out! Oh, my food! No!
What happened?
Ew! Get out of here! Oh, it hurts just to look at you.
Apparently the sailors don't like my multicoloredness.
Duh.
Oh, Celia, they must not be gay.
So, just to speed things along here, eventually the multicoloredness does go away, just to fade into, it goes back to being just one color again. But you have the feeling that if you asked, Tanuki would probably do it again for a little bit. Regardless, you remain that color, you remain changing color for the rest of the day. Is there anything else you want to do before we go to someone else?
Nah.
Okay. Next up on our list is Grisura.
Oh boy.
So, you have the day ahead of you. What do?
Well, I'm currently watching the sea, trying to bleach out the memory of a multicolored Skittles fox that was strutting around the ship.
That's Dennis's new nickname, Skittles.
So, you have the day ahead of you. What do?
Honestly, I just look out at the ship, look out at sea, letting memories flow by, both good and bad.
Alright.
And
So,
I got to thinking of an old friend of mine from my early days as a slave. And
so
I wonder what he's doing now. Okay, go ahead.
So, as you think about that, lulled by the waves, you enter a sort of trance-like state. You watch the waves slowly crash and roll, forming shapes. You see flashes of your past, of people, of cages. You see a tall figure, the golden light of the sun hitting the water, creating a mesmerizing shimmering along the scales of the sky. And then the wave crashes. Another wave crests, and this time you see a dilapidated building. The sea foam seeming to curl around it like vines. Then it crashes. And then you come out of it.
I need a drink.
Alright?
I go back down and get the bottle of ale, thinking I haven't drunk enough today to experience such hallucinations.
The cook, when you enter, says, "Sorry, you drank it all last night."
Well, that sucks.
Yep.
What about wine?
Don't have that either. It's too expensive.
Well, damn it, there goes me getting drunk.
Yup.
Maybe don't try and chug everything the day we get here. Maybe that'll help.
Hey, I'm trying to get smashed here. It's not my fault every drink I come across is super weak.
You could just, sit down and chat.
And what
We also do have alternative methods of smashing.
Olar would just like
I'm
lightning kick Dennis.
Do it.
So I don't think I'll be able to deal it out on you.
So,
I then got a grin. Are you sure about that, fox boy? How about you?
Well, if it was just us without spells, then yeah, I wouldn't stand a chance.
Alright then. How about we have our own little wrestling match? Right here, right now.
at that point, Crovis steps out and he says, "Could you not burn down the ship while we're on it, please?"
And you can hear Shikon from the window. I second that.
Oh boy.
Alex just says, well, if you want to have another go, I'd like to have a rematch.
Alright then. And then smack my fists together. Line up, boys.
So,
I'm not going to try and stop them again.
here you go, here's a small arena for you.
Yeah. Hearing this, Fiona comes down as well.
And then twist my neck so that you can hear. popping
Oops,
or
that is a
cracking.
bit too loud. Let me turn that down.
I crack my neck and my knuckles, and I grin at Alex. You ready?
Alex unbuttons his vest and he takes it off, and he just kind of who does he give it to? He gives it to Milan. He says, "Could you look out for this for me for a minute?"
Olar nods and she crosses her arms and she sets it on her back. There's that smile. Go at it.
Thank you very much.
On
Question for
to
the GM.
fight.
Can I use this to block the window?
It's horizontal, not vertical.
So I can't rotate it. Okay.
Nope.
Notice, should I go up on the deck so I can look for people who've been thrown out of a window?
Which Alex gives her a slight grin and gestures her to come out. It's like, come on, bare feet, give me your worst.
Alright, so how we're going to do this is
I said bare feet.
I want you, both of you, to make 3 straight strength rolls. Not saving throws, straight strength.
3 straight strength.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, give me a moment. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So,
Well, going to be similar like round 1.
the countdown starts. 5, 4, 3, boom! And you are just I went to, let me, you are slammed into the ground as Grisura sits on you and just gives a soft grin. That's
You
one.
need to put some meat on you, boy.
Hey, I've done nothing but draw maps and just learn spells all my life. What do you expect?
Everyone, another 3 strength throws.
Wait, everyone?
These 2, sorry.
What's
Alright.
it?
Another 3 strength throws.
Okay, Grisura. Okay,
Rest in peace.
okay,
Alex.
okay.
That was nice knowing you, Alex.
Alex, you think you're able to get up for a moment. You start to lift up, about to make your move, only to have the feet have your feet sent flying into the air as a leg comes down and sweeps you off your feet. As you thud to the ground, you look at her just standing above you, and then she jumps into the air and brings an elbow down towards you. Just a singular strength throw for each of you this time. You...
What are they?
Give me another strength throw. Both of you.
Alright. Hold up. There we go.
So-
in case you all don't actually know, the rules as written says that if there's a tie in the throw, the situation remains how it was.
So, as you begin to bring your elbow down, Alex grunts and grabs it and manages to throw it to the side. You hit your elbow and it stings for a second, but you're not pressed as you bring your second elbow in and slam it down into his gut, sending all the air out of his lungs. Alex, you are thoroughly defeated.
We were kind of sad. Watch this do it. She just like slowly like starts clapping.
Gosh, that was a massacre.
It really was. I feel sorry for the lad.
Congress
I raise
shakes his palms and shakes his head.
I raise my arms in the air. I am victorious. Then I held up.
Bloody hell did you do it again?
I bet it was
I can hold out a hand to Alex.
I bet it was about as one-sided as it was yesterday.
So yeah, I'm kind of hazy for a minute. He leaves the hand and, he just lightly slowly grabs it to walk back up. And kind of delirious, he just kind of mumbles under his breath. I think I'm starting to fall for strong women.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's
Oh.
lightheaded, he has no idea what he's talking about.
So, Grisura, we're getting a little close on time here, so I'm going to just move things along, okay?
Go ahead.
Kagura, what do you do on the ship?
I've been keeping an eye on Sren with Rura so far.
Alright. So you slowly get Sren more comfortable around you, and as she becomes more comfortable, she begins to tell you a little bit about herself, and you get the impression that she's had a long, hard life of being told that she won't get what she wants. And now she's getting what she wants. She's a little unsure of what to do with her newfound freedom.
Rua just smiles sadly to her. She goes, I know the feeling. I started out the same way you did. So I know that feeling all too well. You don't know what to do. You should go do this, you should do that. You have no purpose now, right?
Sren just blinks and then nods quickly. Like, yes, 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 that's exactly it.
Kagura is sitting there, kind of in disbelief of what he's hearing. He's like is that the kind of thinking those slavers force on you?
Brewer shrugs a bit and she goes, well, each slaver is different, but they tried to make you, what's the word?
Obedient?
Obedient? Yes, that's it. They try to make you obedient, so they treat you like you're nothing, like you're not worth nothing. It's how they get into your mind. And when you're a child, it makes it worse, especially when you don't have your parents anymore. I mean, I never had parents, so I didn't know who to listen to, so I just listened to them.
How in the world is such a thing allowed?
Well, it's for different reasons. Me, I was different. I mean, she flexes her wing that she goes, there's not a lot of me around here in this area, as I've been told, so I'm different, unique. People are selfish. It's what I've kind of gotten used to.
There wasn't any government to ensure the safety and well-being of the people. Anybody to enforce laws that forbid such things?
Slavers don't follow laws. They work around them. They've been doing it for years.
I understand. I understand that much, but surely surely the nobility in your home would have stopped at nothing to put an end to such immorality.
But I don't have a home. So who's going to help me? Well, I mean, somebody did, but it took a long time until somebody finally decided to help me. But I didn't have a home, I didn't have parents, I didn't have a place. So there was nobody who could really help me right away. It took a lot of time. Unfortunately, things can't be solved that fast. It takes time.
I would have helped. No one deserves to have their life surrendered or to another or against their will like that. But I had no idea.
Rura gives him a skeptical look when he said that he would help. Like, she wants to believe him, but force of habit has it that she doesn't right away. And she just smiles and she goes, well, saying is one thing, but doing is another. And one person can't exactly save a lot of people. There's slavers everywhere. I mean, look at Grizura. She's a different form of slavery. I mean, I don't want to compare myself to her because she also had a rough too, but she was in a place where fighting was a thing. I was in a place where I was shown off as a trophy. There's different types.
No, it doesn't matter. They should all be outlawed. Slavery is the slave business. It's just cruel.
Rua looks a little upset at the way he's talking, and then she goes, well, and what would you do to fix it? You keep talking about wanting to fix it and make it cruel and do different things. What's your plan on fixing it?
If it were in my power, I would have my family's guards or dismantled arresting the people responsible and dismantling their operations post haste.
Grizer's eyes widen and then she goes, "You have a family?"
Yes, I'm a noble from Lundruk.
Then why are you here? Why aren't you with them?
Well, I wanted, and they never let me leave home, and well, my sister and I, we've always wanted to see the outside world. I was concerned it could be dangerous. Parents always said it was. I thought I could see to maybe lessening the danger. When my sister grew up, she'd be able to travel it safely.
Rura looks a little upset at this and she goes, "You just left your family? I mean, I understand you want to see the world, I guess, but I didn't have a family. I would never want to leave them."
My family, well, to call my upbringing an enslavement would be far exaggerating things harshly. But I was never in a position where I was necessarily allowed to do what I want, and times when I could, there were always limitations. I suppose being subjected to the activities of the common folk is seen as rather looked down on in my home.
Rura looks thoughtful for a second, still looking a bit upset at what he said, and she goes, "So I guess in a way you were a slave to your family?"
Well, no, they never told me I was worthless. They never had me in. I was never in chains.
No, but they did tell you not to do something, right? That's what slavers do. They tell you what to do and what not to do. And from what you're telling me, that's what your family was doing, right?
Yes, but the way you describe it, it sounded as though you were raised to believe you were worthless.
Well, I was.
To be complacent, obedient. I was raised to believe, I was raised under the premise that there were things in this world that were simply beneath me, that I should be the one, and making others do things for me. Not to mention, we don't have, not in the sense that my family keeps slaves, mind you. Our workers are lawfully employed.
Rura still gives him a skeptical look, like she doesn't quite believe him, and she just sighs and she looks downwards sadly. "Well, even if so, only one person can do so much. You keep saying how you want to have change, but how are you going to change it when you can't even go to the family you're with?"
Kagura gives this just grits his teeth, frustrated, angry, and Ian just thinks, guess, now that you're telling me, now that you're bringing all this up to me, now that I've seen what the outside world is like, all this slavery business, I realized there really was only so much I could have done on my own. Even with all of you, when we were surrounded at the docks, there was nothing any of us could have done. I have to think about this more carefully. I can't just let this slavery matter go. This cleaver is dangerous. Not just to the towns under his reign, or people like you and Seren, but Mahem as a whole. He could take over, and if he could rule an entire over not just one town but 5 others unopposed. Who knows escalate to the nobility here at Mayhem doesn't intervene.
Rua sighs softly through her nose, and then she like narrows her eyes a little bit, actually giving what looks like a small glare. And she says, "There's more powerful people than just Cleaver. Remember that."
There.
As she says this, a cold wind blows through the ship, giving everyone a soft shiver.
Yeah, Rura kind of like flexes her wings a little, and she brings them close to herself, and she just sighs, and she goes, and then she like jumps up, and then she tries to give a small forced smile, and she goes, "Well, if you think of anything to maybe deal with this, then let me know. I didn't mean to bring up unwanted memories. I'm sorry."
There's no apologies necessary. What you told me is what I've seen in somewhere has been enlightening. I realize now. Oh, that I was taking on that I was capable of on my own. To think about what to do about it now.
Yeah. Rura smiles and she stands up, and then she like looks reluctant at first, but she reads that and she just pats his shoulder once, like in a form of reassurance, even though she looks awkward about it. And she smiles and she goes, "Just be glad with what you have. I mean, we got out of that situation okay, but also, I guess don't forget your family too. I mean, I envy you that you have a family, and you know, I would like that someday, maybe, I don't know, but just don't ever forget them, I guess. And also, I mean, I guess don't take for granted what you have. That's all I really ask."
Kagura pulls his ring out and looks at it. Just says, "I don't think I could leave my family behind even if I wanted to."
Kagura like puts her hands together. She goes, "Good. Don't ever forget that."
Rura.
Hmm?
I can't do anything about the past you had, what you've been through, but if it means anything to you, then I can at least promise I will do everything in my power to make sure no one suffers as you did.
Rura blinks a little bit surprised, a tilt of her head at what he said, but she still doesn't show like she quite believes him just yet, but she smiles and she goes, "That's all I ask. Thanks." And then after that, she perks up and she looks at his friend. She goes, "Hey friend, let's go find you some new clothes."
We're on a ship.
We can see if somebody can sew on here.
I suppose. So,
Right.
leaving Kagura, is Rura, you spend your day getting clothes, yes? Is there anything else you do?
Mostly just taking care of Spence, so just like finding different clothes, even if they're kind of big or not, and just like having her try them on, and then just making her look silly by either trying to wrap them around her so they fit, or to try to cut them up. But she's not doing a very good job. But yeah.
Eventually, you make it into, after talking to the sailors, you find out this guy he does tattoos and he tends to repair any clothing. And he looks at Seren, and after a bit of working throughout the day, he manages to make some decent garb for travel. Nothing fancy, or it won't really protect against an attack, but it'll protect her from the elements.
Rua like looks happy at the sailor. She goes, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is perfect."
No problem.
What you were wearing before.
Seren just sort of begins to undress right where she is.
Rua kind of like literally like, "Ta-da! See, you don't have to worry dirty clothes anymore."
So thank you so much.
Don't thank me. He's the one who made it.
Thank you, sir. And he laughs and he says, "Please, I'm Fuji."
Yeah, so then Rua just looks like giddy and she goes, I remember when I got my first set of clothes. And she said it was a dress. It was a little big though, and I accidentally ripped it with my wings, but it was still nice.
That's sweet. So, keeping things moving, Vienna, do you do anything special on your trip?
Well, first thing, when Dennis comes to me, he says that Cleaver's ship has been sunk. Fiona, once Dennis is gone, Fiona heads to the bow of the ship. It starts praying, and then the prayer is just a little mental wink emoji towards Bashalas. Yeah, like
you watch the clouds slowly begin to part, leading to a nice clear sky as a wind blows behind the ship, speeding you along your way.
That's advice.
So you now have a wind blowing you faster towards your destination.
And well, anyway, so fast forward to right now. I look at Grisura and say, "You want to go?"
Why not?
Okay, so I'm gonna let you do that and just move on to Shikon because so you know what to do. Just roll your strengths, etc., etc. I'll only pop in if you roll a natural 1 or natural 20. Okay?
Oh wait, yeah. First up, Alex. Now kind of drenched a little bit, and he says, "Oh yeah, Vienna, by the way."
I have a net 1.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. After he says Vienna, after he says that, he just kind of gives her a dead serious look. He says, "Go for the neck."
So,
Pleasure.
Fiona, roll me your 3 rolls, please.
Oh my god.
Okay. So, Vienna, you crack your knuckles.
Same, modifier. So, I rolled saves by accident, but it is the same modifier. So.
Okay. So, Vienna, you begin to sashay forward, cracking your knuckles as you approach Grisura.
Oh, by the way, I take off my armor beforehand, so I'm just in like a.
Your armor falls to the ground with a thunk, and you approach. At first, she gets the upper hand. No, she doesn't. You were just leading her on. You lift her up and throw her out the window.
I was gonna say power bomb, but that's even better.
Alex.
Allah, you hear a splash. And then you just watch as Grisura is slowly being outpaced by the ship that's moving at a fast pace thanks to the wind.
You might want to fish her out.
Alright, Alara would use her fishing rod.
Grisura and Allah, roll me both strength saving throws.
I probably mentioned that Grisura doesn't know how to swim.
Roll me strength saving throws, both of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my! Allah drops. Allah.
Wow.
The rod snaps. Grisura, you begin to dog paddle, and you're just barely able to catch the occasional breath, but you're rapidly being paced. You watch the sailors glance back, and they begin to slowly pull the boat around in a circle.
Okay. Yeah. I run up to the deck and jump in after her.
You manage to roll me another strength check. Just straight strength.
All right.
Oh, please let me knock her out.
Just a little thing.
No, okay. So with
She sees Vienna waist up to the deck and he frowns a little bit. What is going on?
So you manage to keep her above the water. It's pretty choppy, but you watch the sailors slowly begin to get towards you again, and they're grabbing a rope and pulling it out, and then they see Alex and they just drop the rope and say, "Okay." Because they know the spell he has.
You could, like, no, I poked my head above the water for a second. You could have told me you didn't know how to swim.
You could have not thrown me out the window.
So,
Then after hearing this, he walks outside.
Yep, so
You guys okay?
you managed to send it out, but it can't move more than 10 feet from you, and it can't pass a 10-foot deep pit, and this is a rather big boat. So after a bit, it just sort of floats in the air. The sailors seeing this throw a rope out, and eventually they pull the both of you back onto the boat.
Well, they pull Ogazura. Bjorn can climb back up just fine.
Yeah. You are soaking wet again, Grizera.
What?
It's sunny out. Just stand in the breeze. It'll be gone in a few minutes.
Now, Shikon, what do you spend your day doing?
First off, she gonna stay close to the window to get less and less seasick. While the shenanigans were going on, yeah, he did interact a little bit with others, and
So, nothing special?
well, he's actually thinking about his tribe,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
So-
certain someone too.
As you look out over the...
Actually, one more thing. He quietly mumbles, "If only I had a pan flute with me."
As you say this, you hear a soft tune carried on the breeze, and the faint scent of lavender. Alright, so, those of you on the deck, you begin to see a landmass slowly beginning to approach. And one of the sailors calls out and says, "Land ho!" And the deck is now a flurry of activity as they begin to tie things down and prepare to dock. You watch the land get bigger and bigger. And Vienna, it looks like home.
And Bjorn sniffs and grins.
So, is there anything you want to do before we make dock? Any last
Oh, wait.
things?
I'm waiting for an answer from Vienna.
Okay.
Rura, real quick, when she hears I'm home, she like slightly like ushers Trin outside to see everybody, and then she show off her new clothes. So she stands in front of it and she goes, "Ta-da! Look at her new clothes."
Okay. So you head on out. Everyone sees her amazing new clothes that are honestly just basic and no offense. But you watch the ship slowly begin to make port. And
The moment Shikon sees that, he
Guys?
rushes to the deck.
okay. Vienna?
No, I'm saying you would actually be on this end.
Yeah, that's the front of the ship. But that area is elevated as well. But regardless, so the ship begins to make dock, and the gangplank is set out, and you take your first steps onto dry land. Those of you who just got your sea legs are a bit wobbly and your head spins a little, but you don't feel like you're going to throw up, you just feel a little queasy. And then you see it.
And then the gangplank used its bolt and cannonballs started raining from the sky in a circular area.
Yes. The city of Fulma, built into a massive hillside, The city has massive walls protecting from the sea that beats against it. The higher up you go, the less stone the buildings become. When monsoon season hits, it is not uncommon for the lower streets to be filled with rainwater. A small gravel path leads to a dilapidated building with a dragonborn out the front. But the city proper? Well, for some it would be home, others culture shock. In a nation filled with animal yokai, it was almost striking to see near none visible. All around them were humans with hair that shined like metal, jeweled eyes, beautiful skin, and the rare couple had rings around their head. They were here, in Folma, the city of Asimar. As you gawk at the city, Crover speaks up behind you. Be careful out there. I sense an ill wind blowing in.
We'll take care of ourselves. Don't worry about it.
He nods and he says, I will be here for a day, resupplying, and then we will head on to our final stop.
Okay. Well,
I question.
Sweet.
Am I still a different color?
Yes.
I gotta run. I gotta run and do this, and we'll drop something off. I'm guessing that's here. It's this here.
1 moment, let me zoom back out. Your temple is the one and the second level. No, your Sashalas's temple is this one here, in the main city, with the dolphin.
Well, I gotta run and drop something off at the temple. You guys, stay the sides. Have fun.
You need any company?
I mean, if you want, I'm literally just finishing up an errand.
Alright, well, see you in a bit.
Rura looks a bit uncomfortable looking around the area, and she like rubs her arm a little bit and just looks not very happy.
Shikon on the other hand, he is hugging the ground. I'm much happier to be on land than on the sea.
I call back and pull away. Hey, don't get too used to it. It's an island.
Doesn't make any difference. Still ground for me.
Yes, but you're going to have to get back on the boat eventually.
Kagura, you're super soft again. Kagura?
I said we're gonna have to go, and we're gonna have to be back on the boat in less than a day anyway.
So, you have the entire city ahead of you.
It's curious what this building is.
You see a man at the front and he says, "Ah, yes, welcome to our city. What can I help you with?"
What's in this building?
Ah, this is the temple for the fox god Tanuki.
Ah, okay.
It's a giant maze of mirrors. It changes every day.
He goes in.
Make me an intelligence check. And we'll cut back to you in a second. Viona.
So yeah, I just walk up to the temple of Sashalas.
Okay. So, you enter the temple, a massive marble structure that faces the ocean. Inside, a pool of crystal clear water sits with seating around it, a few praying in their seats. In the pool is a statue of Sashalas, covered in seaweed and barnacles. A second statue in better condition sits above the water.
Now I'm home. Okay, so I find Eric basically sent me on the errand.
Alright, you do so.
Yeah, so I basically, okay, I'm back, and I got that map.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was probably more expensive than it ought to have been, but what the hell.
Well, you know what they say about quality. Thank you very much. And may Sashalas be with you.
May Sashalas be with you. By the way, also I'm gonna requisition a few things from the armory. Got a bit of a harder job coming up. And out of character, one of Sasha Loss's domain is war, so yes, they would have the armory.
Yes, just write down a list and we will get it commissioned for you. It will, of course, cost a commission fee, as you're aware, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, it should, if you give me the list, I should be able to get you the items you need by the afternoon.
And right.
While you do that,
Yeah, you can go to someone. I'll send you the list. You can go to somewhere else while you're at that.
Yep. Okay, so, Grizura, you find a small building that seems to have a notice at the front that says locals only. It seems the blacksmith here only serves locals.
Well, that's poor business.
So, next up, Alexander.
Hello?
So, Alex is going to check the inns. Rura and Seren and Wolfbale are together. Neku is going to be alone for a moment, so... And what are you doing, Kagra?
I was thinking of possibly trying to find intel on where if Alar's sister could have gone through here.
Alright. Are you going to stick with them and look around town? If you have more people, I'll give you advantage.
You mean with Alex and Grisera?
Yeah, are you taking them to investigate the town for information?
Sure.
Okay. Well, ask them. No, I meant Rura and Shikon, sorry.
Oh, by the way,
I'm caught off guard, so what just happened?
Kagra is going to search the city for information about Allah's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is what happened. He hasn't asked yet.
Go ahead, Rura.
I'm gonna ask around. Maybe Alar's sister was brought through here. Maybe. I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Maybe. I think I'll stick with Rura and Sven just to be sure they're going to be okay.
Rura looks a little comfortable, but she sighs, looking to the ground. I'll help you. I know this city better than anybody.
Alright.
That'd be appreciated.
So, you can either roll separate investigations or one investigation with advantage. Now, Alex, Grisura, and I guess Fiona went back to that after. So, you arrive at the Smelly Fish Inn. It's rather...
Actually, I met up with them at the armory.
Okay. The armory is
the armory that they went to, where they tried to shop at.
Okay. Well, the armory is a building I forgot to put on the map, so it will be this building here.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, okay, Alex.
Alex went to the inn. He didn't go to the armory.
I say, Grisura, I can get an armor requisition from the temple. I'll just give me your order. I'll have to dip into the group fund, but
What?
like you just tried to shop at the armory, right?
Yes. They don't serve outsiders.
And fortunately, I'm not an outsider. I can requisition from the temple if you just or just give me your list.
I just need some fresh clothes and some not so rusty clothing, armor.
Okay, so we'll get into the armor after the session, but we'll say you give her a list, Fiona a list, and Fiona will order that list. Okay?
Like, I'm also gonna have to hit. Oh, by the way, where's Alex?
Alex is at the end. Dennis,
Alright.
you got so lost that you had to be escorted back out of the building.
Was I changing colors?
Yes.
Did they say anything about that?
No.
They
We
must
do
just
have
like
a temple for Tanuki here, so they're probably figuring that's what it was.
Okay. So, now, Alex, you enter the inn. It's rather packed with more disheveled, cheap. The beer looks as cheap as the people at the table. And at the counter is a shifty, thin-looking man with a tattoo of a bird's claw on his shoulder. His smile looks a little too wide, and his eyes always seem to be staring.
Always staring, never blinking.
Welcome to the Smelly Fish Inn. How can I help you?
Oh, well, thank you for the warm greetings, sir. How are you doing this fine day yourself?
You know how it is. Business is booming as always.
I just wanted to ask you what the, well, considering this is an inn, I would make the assumption, and I hate to assume, honestly, but how much are your rooms going for?
Well, a room and a meal, a meal will cost you about a silver a night. Per person, of course.
Per person?
Yep.
Well, I suppose we can do that, but, what's the security looking like? Well, I guess, to be a bit more blunt, do I have to sleep with one eye open?
Well, I mean, if you don't want your stuff being stolen, it would be advisable. We don't offer any security here. We just offer beds. And booze, but,
Well,
I mean, we're an inn, of course we have that.
well,
If you're looking for somewhere more high class with security, you want to go to the higher levels.
well, alrighty then. But still, thank you very much for letting me know, and, Alex, extends his hand and, offer it in a handshake.
You take it. His hand is slimy, slickened with sweat. And he shakes it. And he leans forward, giving a toothy grin as he says, "So no, thank you. Come again soon." And then he lets your hand go.
He continues to smile, and just as he gets out the door, he wipes his hand off the wall, and he says,
That is when you see the group approaching.
"Oh, hey V, hey Grazura, hey Dennis, still changing colors."
I got totally
Yeah.
lost.
I'm not surprised by that.
You see them all
Apparently
crowded
the temple
around
is
the
made out
inn.
of mirrors.
I couldn't hear it.
Allah, you see them all crowded around the inn. What are you doing?
She walks away. She's heading up deeper into the city.
Alright, you head deeper into the city. You see a store with a book on it, a store with a flower, the Merry Mermaid Inn, sorry. You see a temple with a dolphin, a creature called a lotl, and at the very top, another inn called the Swanky Swordfish Inn.
She's a little down now that she's away from the group. She just looks at the floor mostly and then looks to the flower shop and heads in there for a little bit to see what's going on in there.
As you enter, the thick scent of flowers and aroma enters you, and you see a small female dwarf with a well-trimmed beard and long flowing hair. A dress with a flower pattern follows it is around her, and her eyes are half littered with a almost dazed look as she says, "Welcome. We don't get many visitors. Can I interest you in a sample of our fine wares?"
Yes, I'd like to. What, actually? I didn't hear that last part.
A sample of our fine wares.
Okay, yes, please. I'd like to see what you guys offer.
Well, this is the apothecary, so we offer a multitude of potions and scents to please a person. We have the usual healing potions. We have so many potions. And then we have those potions that are just for, if you want to take the edge off. Really de-stress.
De-stress? That sounds like something I would like, at least.
Sorry,
I'm a little off.
Our specialty potions cost about, they are a bit dearer, but they're about 2 gold or so.
And they're just for de-stressing?
Yes. If you drink one, I assure you the stress will roll right off your shoulders.
Oh.
We even have a deal, 5 for 10 gold.
Let's see here. Darn, I only have 9 gold on my person, and that's not something I can ask.
Because I like you, and you're a Santa, you're a druid, and I feel a real kinship, because I deal with flowers and plants, and you're a druid, and I think that's just nice. So I'll give you 5 bottles for 9 gold. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect, actually. I'll go and take that.
Alright, Alright, and you get 5 potions of calming potion. Air quotes. And I'll write that up later, but are you trying it now?
I will try one of them now.
Alright, roll me a con save.
Alrighty.
Okay. So, unfortunately, due to your high constitution, you feel the effects of the potion, and then it just leaves your system. And you feel a bit annoyed because, you can just barely feel the effects. You're just unable to really embrace it enough.
Alara looks a little frustrated about this. Is this the best type of potion you got? I didn't even feel anything.
She smiles and places down a second potion. Try it multiple doses. It tends to, with more hardy folk, take a few. So she gave you a free one. Roll another con save with disadvantage.
Okay.
You are absolutely high. Everything is just wonderful. You can see birds, you can see all the colors. It's like everything is touched by Tanuki to make it all change color and push and flow and ebb. Everything is just great.
Oh my god.
So you are down to 4 calming potions.
Alright, this is amazing. You're right.
I know, right? It's amazing. Try not to use it all in one go, eh?
Yeah. Not all. Yeah.
Feel free to come back if you want any more. I make a lot of it. I even sample it myself,
I hear ya. This just takes everything.
And just makes it better.
It does. Oh my god.
Well, you should go and explore the city. It is amazing out there, I tell you.
Alright, her eyes just like are just saucers as she
Yes.
walks out the building. And she's just like,
Okay.
Alright,
Vierna
guys.
passes by her on the way to her order. I'm gonna roll. What do I roll to see exactly what the hell is up with her?
That would probably be a medicine check.
I don't have proficiency on that, but it does work off my best stats. So let's see.
She's very much high.
hey, Yari, it's you.
Now, pausing you there, because I'm going to catch up with everyone else. I'm assuming you are all going up to see the Merry Mermaid in, yes? Alex and Grisera? Okay, so I'm going to pause you there and go to Group B. Kagura, did you decide what sort of investigation roll you're rolling?
What options do I have again?
You can either all roll individually, or you can roll, or one person can roll with advantage. And this is for Kagura, Rura, and Shikon.
In my opinion, you might want to do a roll separately because then you have 4 dice instead too.
But not everyone's proficient.
True.
Yeah.
Regardless, it is your decision.
I'd say,
The three of us has the highest investigation.
not me, so I'm going to give it to you.
Alright.
Mine's all.
Investigation modifier.
Okay, roll investigation with advantage.
Ninja, you didn't answer my question.
What? I'm sorry.
I was asking what your investigation modifier is.
I'm sorry. I'm so tired. Is
So-
intelligence right? It's not that high. It's only 2.
So,
Are you proficient in investigation?
Not quite,
regardless,
but I
you've
think
rolled.
that's
So, moving on.
Can I actually do
No,
this,
you already did your roll, and I'm going to explain what happened. So, you ask around the city, and a few seem to nod and say they've seen a centaur, and they point towards deeper into the city. Do you attempt to follow the directions?
Can I know if these are right directions or not?
They seem to believe they're telling the truth. Yeah, there was the center. They went up that way. Do you?
I was actually going to ask if I could roll a perception check just to catch up rumors with my ears.
Alright, you can, but basically, are you going to follow the information you've been given, that there's a center higher in the city?
Rura gives a bit of a skeptical look, but she just like shrugs.
Kagura, I think.
Probably all are.
Yeah.
No, you hear nothing, Shikon. You hear nothing.
Okay.
It could just be alarm, but it'd probably be a good idea to regroup with everybody anyway. See if everyone's all right.
Alright, so you're heading up?
Yeah,
Alright.
pretty much.
So you all head deeper into the city, and as you emerge through the gate, now you all see Allah. Allah, you may speak.
Okay, hold on, guys. I gotta go. I'm falling asleep.
Alright, that's fine. You can watch this after. It's not a good point to pause, but yeah, sorry. I'll just have your character be here, but yeah. Go get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I gotta go to bed and I had another morning shift in the morning, so I gotta go.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
Good
Jen.
night.
Sleep well.
Alright. So, Allah.
guys. I went to this great herb shop and I felt really down. I just felt like a void was just taken from me. Now, it's just all gone away again.
Can I smell what she took, or?
It's a potion. It doesn't typically have a smell.
Oh,
You can roll a medicine check, but Fiona basically said what it is.
Yeah, and we also said that she's not putting up with it right now.
we weren't actually around when.
Well,
Said
she's
that.
not blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
I mean, wouldn't high? I mean, I would think high would be something.
She confronted to see Anna like that. I think I know what's going on, but
Alright, I'll allow it. So, Allah, the wonderful high, suddenly slaps back to cold, hard reality.
whiplash.
You don't want to water a street when you're high. That does not lead to good places.
She would blink for a moment and regain her senses fully, and she just looks down for a little bit. And
Get
she
high, a safe place.
I understand. Sorry.
Oh, Brazura, you come with me. You need to get fitted for your armor.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow you.
Alright, so you get fitted for your armor and then you rejoin the group. So everyone, you're here. Alex, are you entering the Merry Mermaid Inn?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are down gold now.
No, leave the gold. I will handle it when I'm done with the session, okay?
Alright. Yeah, I'm entering the inn to suss out the prices.
Alright. As you enter, this rather reasonable looking inn has a goblin at the front. While less crowded than the smaller inn, there's still quite a few people here enjoying their drinks. The floor is clean, it doesn't look like it's sticky either. And, he smiles as you enter. His hair is neatly combed back and he wears a rather decent suit. A quiet intelligence shines in his eyes, and his tone is rather cultured, almost aristocratic. Well, hello there, good sir. How can I help you this fine evening?
Thank you very much. I hope you've been well yourself.
Yes, I've been quite well. Business has been quite good.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Being a businessman myself, I know sometimes you get a bit of dry spells, but it's good to hear that you're doing pretty well for yourself right now.
Yes, we're pretty high up, so we actually can afford to have a wooden building. It makes us look a little more cultured, so to speak. So,
Isn't that the truth, though?
so what can I
Anyway,
help you with? Am I to assume you would like a room?
Yes. I'm actually shopping around for places to stay for the night for my companions and I.
Of course.
I was wondering what's the going rate for your room and board.
Well, we offer rooms. There are 5 silver pieces, and that'll get you 2 beds.
5 silver pieces for 2 beds.
Correct.
So let's see. Yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah.
The door. I
anything else?
should also assure you the doors have locks. So, if you decide to leave stuff in your room, while we can offer no guarantees, it is likely very safe.
Alrighty, fair enough. Seems pretty reasonable. I think that's all I wanted to know. Yeah, I think that's good for now. If my companions have any questions, I'll be sure to bring them over here.
Since you
And,
since you seem like the type to go to every inn, let me just tell you now that the inn one floor above this, their rooms go 2 gold, and that's per person.
I mean, kind of within our budget, but I'd like to keep this as cheaply as possible, quote unquote cheaply as possible.
Of course,
But
we like
not
to give people the proper support they require, and a decent room and a decent meal. But if you go 1 floor up, that's where all the food is stored in case of a monsoon. You know, up high where the floodwaters won't reach. So they tend to have quite higher rates, since it's the most secure and safe.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, I think that's all for us at the moment. I'll talk it over with my companions, see what we reckon our going rates are, and if we want to stay here for the night, we should come back here.
Of course, I will be right here.
All right. Well, thank you again very much, and I hold out my hand to shake his.
He shakes it. His hand is quite a hand.
But yeah, on my way out, there's actually one more thing that I want to do, and it's kind of just an on the side sort of thing, yeah. I'm keeping an eye on the temple where Vienna said she needed to go to.
You see her heading there with Grisura. And now you two, you go and get the armor fitted, and then you head out to rejoin the group. I'm just rushing things along here because we're getting close to time.
Yeah.
So, everyone, you're back together in one group.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We all here? All right. So here's what I was able to scout out. The big old fancy place up there, and he points up towards the top of the road. That has places for rooms that are going at. It was 2 gold, right?
2 gold per person.
At 2 gold per person. So, doing the math, I think we can afford that. Taking out the money that Vienna needs for the requisitions. But it seems like here, the little place over here, the Mary Murray Inn, it seems like it's still just as reasonable. Still get that for a good price. So, what do you guys thinking we should spend? Where do you guys think we should spend the night?
Are you sure you don't want to ask the SWAT here the other end personally, in case they might be lying to you?
What? Which end?
He's talking about the person who you talked to in the Merry Mermaid Inn.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he wouldn't be lying to me. I mean, wouldn't he try and make the other place look as bad as possible?
That is fair.
How much did you say the inn on the 2nd layer? Or was it?
The one on the 3rd layer, the one just above us, that's 2 gold per person.
Yes, I remember that part, but what did you say about this inn here on the second floor?
Quick reminder.
It's 5 silver per 2 people.
5 silver per 2 people.
You have to share a room though. It's
Yeah,
5
well,
silver
2
per
people
2
have-
beds.
In other words, 2 people have to share rooms.
That still that's quite a difference. As far as gold goes, how much do we have altogether?
Taking into consideration that Vienna needs 400 to make requisitions, we have 426 gold, 4 silver, and 10 platinum.
You know me, I'm sleeping out. I think I'm going to sleep on the ship this time.
And
I was about to say, we could technically just sleep on the ship.
Temple tonight.
What was that, Vierna?
I was just gonna stay at the temple tonight.
You also recall that while you were sleeping on the ship, all the sailors had to leave their rooms.
Well, I slept at the cargo bay last time, so it's not going to be an issue for me.
Alright, well, if it's 2 gold per person, then I reckon we could get some use out of the platinum we have.
Alright, so you head up to the Smoky Swordfish Inn.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Alright,
Alright.
so
We live in high class today.
those of you who were sleeping outside, leave yourselves on the second layer, and those of you who will be sleeping inside, go to the third layer. Just so I can...
What about Ruba? Because
She'll be getting a room with her, the Goblin Girl.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be at the temple.
So yeah, they'll be up there.
Yeah, I'll bring along Reserve's armor. Meet him.
You can be on the walls, there is grass underneath them, it's just perspective.
Yeah. I think. Fine.
Alright. So, as you enter the massive wooden building, you see this large marble floor that greets you, and this large desk where a woman, an older looking woman with a well-travelled, wrinkled look greets you. She has a smile that resembles that of a mother, but a shrewd intelligence rests in her yellow eyes. Good evening, I am Amano Mashi. I take it you would like a room in our fine establishment? The price is 2 gold per person, and we also offer extra activities available at... We can offer you 1 servant to take care of you and assist in any duties you would require, such as bathing or, there's room service too. Such things will cost you about an extra gold if you require them.
No, I think we'll be fine with just the rooms today. Thank you very much.
Of course. So that'll be 2 gold per person for a total of... 2, 4, 6, 8... 16, I think it is. 16 gold?
Yeah, 16 gold.
Again, don't subtract it. Don't subtract any money from the treasure dock.
Alright, gotcha. Just to be sure, like I said, Alex said, we could probably make use of the platinum we got here, so yeah.
Okay. She does indeed accept the platinum, and she says, alright, here are your complimentary towels. Here's your room keys. The spa is open from 3 p.m. onwards, and it closes at midnight. If you require any service, just ring the bell in your room, and enjoy your nights.
Alright, thank you very much, Adam.
So, you enter your rooms. There is a massive king-size bed that is covered in the softest feathers and quilts ever. And there is even a bed specifically made for Allah. You get the impression it's more for the more beastly folk, but regardless, a sort of ground bed has been set out for you to lay on. And it's quite soft and comfy. In fact, it almost makes you wish you slept laying down. But you spend your day in relative luxury. The food is the most delicious you've ever had. The water is nice and crisp, just hot enough, but not too hot. The spa is there, it's steamed, it's scented. It's basically a 5-star hotel. Is there anything you want to do before you rest for the evening?
Yeah, one final thing. Well, everyone, Alex, he actually leaves the inn for a moment to, stop by the temple. He's not here to get Vienna, but he's looking for someone who's a part of the clergy. Just anyone in particular. No one in particular.
Okay. You find one of the clergy members, and he greets you with a smile.
Hello there, sir. Terribly sorry to, trouble you, but I want to speak to you about something I've been thinking about for a while now. Do you have the time?
Oh,
Do you have time?
I have a little time. What is it you need?
I've been, traveling with someone recently, and she's been a very big help with my group as of late, and, well, I do sincerely hate to pry into such personal business and all that, but, are you aware of the cleric Vienna?
Yes, she is a part of our clergy.
And she's praying in the right behind you. No one makes any issue of this.
She's right over there.
Well, she seems rather at peace here, doesn't she?
Well, yes. Faith has a way of doing that to people. When everything seems to have its place in the world, and you have faith in the person, the God above you, everything just seems to fall into place. Faith is a very powerful thing.
Well, seeing what I have come of her, I wouldn't disagree.
Yeesh.
But I wanted to ask you something, and perhaps it's none of my business, perhaps you don't know much, but what's her story? How did she... Well, she has told me a little bit, but do you know much else from what she would probably readily tell anyone?
The clergyman glances, and then he looks back and he says, "We do not pry into the past of those who come here. We only help them on their paths to a better future."
Well, like I said, I guess maybe it isn't my place to pry anyway. Still though.
Damn right it is. Brianna yells out.
Which Alex jumps a little bit and, still trying to keep his composure, and he says, "Hey V, how you doing?"
Right.
And is that all?
Karen is just in a meditation position this entire time, like she hasn't moved a muscle.
That's gonna be an interesting conversation when she gets back.
So,
Anyway.
you head back?
Yeah, I head on back. That's really all I was there for.
Alright. Dennis, by this point, you have stopped changing colors.
Okay. Am I now my correct color?
Yes.
Okay. Before
Now-
heading to bed, I ritual this. Mahem. Which one is supposed to do that? There we go.
Alright.
Just in case.
Okay. So, is there anything else anyone wants to do before we wrap up?
Actually, she does a little prayer to his spirit.
You hear a soft howl echo in the distance. Only you hear this, Shikon.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
There would be a small sobbing in one of the rooms, and just quietness afterwards.
God, stop tearing my heart out. So mean.
Go ahead, dude.
Okay. As the day comes to an end and your eyes close, you hear a voice speak from behind you. One moment, let me just... Okay. You hear a voice speak from behind you. Be careful out there. I sense an ill wind blowing in. As you open them, you are once more standing in front of the city of Fulmar and turn to see Clovis Creed waving you off. You have a strong sense of deja vu, and that is where we're ending it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger again.
So yeah,
Wait, why are they on like a hill?
because I'm bringing them down, but my screen doesn't go down that far.
Right, before we leave off, one last thing. Okay, Glura. I hand her new split mail.
No,
National Last Clergy Standard.
you do not have splint mail.
Splint armor.
No.
You don't have any armor yet.
The session is ended before that happened.
No, well, from my understanding, they reset it.
I mean, I would have given it her first thing in the morning, but okay.
The day literally resetted. That's what I'm gonna say.
Grisser just passed out on the bed. She's been up all night.
You were on the bed, and then you wake up, and it's once more bright daylight, and you're on the dock where you were, and Clovis is behind you, saying the exact same thing he said when you first got to the city.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And that is where we ended.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry if that was a bit confusing. I tried to make it clear, but I digress. Thank you all for coming. This is why we only have 2-hour sessions.
Yep, I got you.
Seriously though, I'll stop tearing my heart out.
But dude, come down. Things do better.
Groundhog Day.
So, thank you all for tuning in. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister who's calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strengthened. darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strayed. Orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister hoof calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strayed. Orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister hoof calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key